feel like a lot of times in the content space, in the content guru space, they're throwing a lot of things at you. Not only are you getting like this guy's best tips or whatever, you're getting this guy's, and it's a lot of times clashing, so it feels confusing. So I've tried to boil down just what I feel like has worked in building content strategy to 3 things. And I'll start with what I feel like you're really good at, that I oftentimes have to like, I'm trying to like convince artists of and artist teams of, which is content strategy should be balanced. I divide that up into 3 things: music content, brand content, brand defining content, and audience connection content. Music content is just competitive ways to get the music out there. Brand defining content is like, that's my lowest percentage of content, but I think it's important to really clearly say, this is who I am and this is who I'm not. It's almost just as important to say that to like the audience that you're trying to find as it is to, I think, signal to the platforms through SEO, like, all right, this is what this account's about. Right. And then audience connection content is, I think, stuff that isn't necessarily music content or music related, or related to your product, maybe, which is like what you're selling, which is like your guitar services or live show building. It's like, what's the type of content that my ideal fan would want to see? And I feel like you do a lot of that. So if I feel like maybe there's some, stuff like we talked about with separating it out on accounts that you could step into, but like you've kind of got that down. The other, and I'm kind of working backwards, the middle of the 3 core principles for me is that content should be value driven, not promotional. No one wants to be sold to. The content needs to educate, entertain, inspire, relate.
Yes. Tell me what you think about that for artists, because I'm sure you're just like me and you get all these Instagram gurus who are like, make an educational post. And I'm like, that is so easy to do when you're, teaching someone how to make your Instagram good, or you're teaching music theory, or you're teaching blah, blah, blah. But if you are an artist that makes art to connect with people, how do you see that translate? You mean the educate, like inspire? What's the value proposition, and how do you make it a value proposition versus me marketing? Yeah. So that's all 3 of these principles are tied to like deeper core beliefs that I hold. This middle one's about just, I have a background in the military. I was in the military for 10 years. And I think, the reason that I did that was and what I definitely learned in that space, I'm not going to say that I was just like, always thought this and like, but service is really important to me. And I believe life is about service and serving others. And I think what's tough about that is you start to worry about how you're going to provide for yourself and your family. And this is kind of tied to my faith, but just like trusting that I will be provided for if I'm pursuing a calling that's been given to me, which I feel like is every artist has felt this calling. It's why you guys work so hard and like put yourself through all the stuff that you put through. Like there's something there that you have to say. There's a mission that you've been given. I feel like that you're serving, And so I think it's like you really have to like trust that if you serve your fans, that will come around and you'll be provided for. Yeah. It's just kind of a step out in faith, to be honest, I think. Yeah. And I mean, not only do I feel like that is just an idea that I believe in, but I also just feel like that's what works best on social media. Like, and the way that I try to describe it, I haven't found a perfect way to like represent this yet, but I mean, a lot of times like content feels like it's all about the artist, so it's very promotional. or it's all about the fans. Like the artist doesn't really get anything out of it. I'd propose a third option where you're kind of meeting your fan in a shared space that is more about, it's about something that's bigger than yourself. It's about an idea that is bigger than yourself, and it's something that you guys are kind of like stepping out in support of together. I think if you think of the best brands in the world, like they represent something that's, they're really trying to connect themselves to something that's bigger than themselves. Mm-hmm. And I think that when you're able to like tie yourself to something like that and tie your brand to something like that, then fans will like come to you and understand that, all right, you're a space for this. And I can, being associated with you is something that is really important even to my personal identity, because we both believe in this.
Yes.
So that's why that's how I feel like value-centric content, value-driven content makes sense for an artist. It's tough because it's like you really have to believe that, like, I don't know, it's gonna pay off somehow, or you're gonna make it. It's really hard to like it. Have you seen that the visual that came to my mind? And I think this visual was representing that. But do you remember in Indiana Jones where like they had to go to like this chamber where all these like cups were? Have you seen that movie?
Oh, I have. Yeah, okay. Yeah.
And there's like a they had to step out and like cross this chasm to get
with
there.
The traps, yeah.
Yeah, and he threw the rocks out. You know, they had to step out in faith and that something was going to catch them. You know, I feel like that's what it kind of feels like sometimes. I did kind of a terrible job of explaining that. But.
No, I feel like I really love the ethos of that as like more the internal core of how to approach being an artist. And like you get it, especially as we're both people who are married and have people we're taking care of and also like want to provide for. So stepping into that faith when it isn't just affecting you is also so scary.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, I think the part that I want to be better about consistently unlocking in the things that I share is like, how do you come at your content like what's the distinctive difference of coming at your content in that way versus not? Like, I feel like it's not quite concrete, because I'll see someone's video and be like, yeah, it's so markety, blah, blah, blah. But then I'll see another person's video and it'll really resonate with me. And I'm like, is it because that was markety, or is it because I don't resonate with that project and that identity?
I think it's more the latter. Yeah. I think it's like, that's what I find, I just feel like we both live in Nashville and country music is king here, and at least for now. And what's happened over the last couple of decades in country music is country radio has really been the way that artists are able to like make it in this industry and as an artist. And what I resent about the culture that country radio has built is that, country radio, I don't know, their like strategy is to just be like as generically and broadly appealing to a mass audience as possible. Like they have to, this song needs to serve, or it needs to be palatable, at least consumable by as many different people groups as possible. And I think when you try to write music to that, it just loses its like.
And I don't do that.
No, you do not do that. You don't do that.
But yes, I totally feel that. And there's a place for it, but
I said all that, I said all that to say, like, I don't think your music should be for everyone.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
If you're seeing someone's content and you're like they're really going for it and being really confident, and you're like, nah, that's not for me, then they're probably doing something right, actually.
No, I have have this conversation all the time. One of my friends and I were like always like, what do you think of this? What do you think of this? And I had the biggest crash out the other week because I saw someone just like, who, like, I like, their music is great. And they're like, confidently, I am the next big thing and here is why. And I was like, why is this making me uncomfortable? It's like something within me that I feel like I would never say that. And like, it's also hard when we're constantly, every time we open the app, it's like, hey, you want to see someone else doing what you want to do?
Right.
It's so fun, though. It's so fun.
It opens up a lot of opportunities for growth.
Yes.
You're constantly, if you want to lose yourself in comparing yourself to others, man, there are so many opportunities for that.
I'm like, okay, I'm sure this happened to people when they didn't have phones, but I'm like, you'd have to go to the show and spend an hour and a half being angry that you're not on stage. Whereas instead I go, oh, wow, they sold out that venue, this person had this thing. 500 comparisons come up. And I'm happy for those people. I don't want to think about it. Put it away. Too much info.
Yeah.
Anyway.